guess what? They're going to end up right in my basket of goodies. Good morning, YouTube. This is Cruiseman out on the 2018 Goldwing tour. It is Saturday morning. A little bit cool out, about 45 degrees, but I'm getting to where I kind of like this cool weather. As long as it's above 40, I'm pretty good to go. I am running a couple of errands this morning. Thought I'd check in with everybody, say hi, let you know about what's going on. I want to take a second to thank all of you again who have supported my other channel on YouTube, the cruisereport.com. And as I've mentioned to you in the last couple of motovlogs, we'll be leaving here shortly to do some cruise vlogs and blogging on the new Norwegian Encore. So make sure you check out our Cruise Report YouTube channel. But it's a beautiful day, and I'm going to talk to you today about a couple of really dangerous intersections that I deal with on almost a daily basis riding around Carrollton, Texas, and I'm sure you have them in your community, especially if you live in a bigger city. And I'm going to share with you how I deal with these dangerous situations. And I think that if you, hopefully, if you follow some of my guidelines, could really save you a lot of misery. Now, the first situation we'll be coming up on shortly. This is a overpass that I go under almost daily. And it's what I like to call a blind overpass. And there's a lot of accidents at this particular intersection, and it's right near my house. In fact, just about any time we go anywhere, we have to go through this. Okay, so now I've turned on to Hebron. I'm coming up on the intersection I was referring to, and it's not going to be as dangerous for me today because I'm actually second or third in line at the intersection. And I'll tell you why that's important. But if I'm the first one in line up at the stoplight, that's the most dangerous. Now, as we go under this overpass, what you'll notice is this concrete, I don't know if you call it an abutment or what you call it, but this concrete structure over here on our right. And of course, today we have some construction barrels, so the right lane's actually closed. The right lane is the most dangerous lane. This lane is probably, if this and the next one are the two safest lanes. There is an exit ramp coming off of this tollway on the other side of this overpass, and they have a stoplight. So when we get our green light, they get a stoplight. However, I've seen at least 3 accidents at this intersection, bad accidents, where people come off that exit ramp and they don't stop at that stoplight. They just blast right on through, right as people in our lane are going through, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The problem is, it's kind of a blind intersection. Right now, I can't see traffic coming off that exit ramp. So one of the things I like to do, if I'm second or third in line, I'd much rather be in this situation because I'm going to let them take the hit. Now there's less chance of somebody coming from my right. So it's always a good idea when going through a blind intersection like that, let these big SUVs and trucks be the first one to go through the intersection because they're more visible and it's more likely that that cross traffic will stop for them. So if I am first in line, first of all, I'll always try to be in the center lane or the left lane, and hopefully if there's a car to my right, I will go slow enough to let that car go ahead of me. I do not want to be the first one into that dangerous intersection. I'd much rather let a larger vehicle be the first one. And I stay far enough back so that if somebody does come through that red light and hit that car to my right, it doesn't take me out too. So that's probably the most dangerous intersection we have here in Carrollton where I live. And like I say, I personally have seen 3 accidents at that intersection, and I don't know how many more there have been, and they've been bad. People are going 50, 60 miles an hour and they broadside somebody going my direction. Now the next tip I'll give you is when you're coming up on a left-hand turn lane and you want to make a left turn, and there are actually 2 left-hand turn lanes. So you get to choose, do you want to go on the inside lane or the outside lane? And when I finish running my errand, we're going to do exactly that. Okay, I made my drug run. Picked up my drugs from the pharmacy. And now we're going to head out onto Old Denton, heading north. And when we come back to Hebron Parkway, I will be faced with a decision. And the decision is I have 2 left-hand turn lanes up here. Do I want to be in the inside lane or the outside lane? And I prefer to be on the inside lane. And I'll tell you why. I don't know if I'm going to make this light or not, but I did. The reason is, if there is a car next to me, which there almost always is on this street, cars have more of a tendency, or drivers have more of a tendency to swing wide when they're making a left-hand turn than to make a tight turn and come into the left lane. So I've seen a lot of people, when they make that left-hand turn, they'll swing wide to the right because maybe they don't even know there's a second left-hand turn lane. And of course, if they swing wide, guess what? They're going to end up right in my basket of goodies. No thank you. So anytime I'm faced with a left-hand turn lane where I have multiple lanes to choose from, I always choose the inside lane. Now, I'd like to hear your comments about what you do safety-wise and to try to avoid danger. Those are my 2 suggestions for the day, for the week. I have a couple of other safety situations I'm going to talk about in upcoming Moto vlogs, but today it was the blind overpass intersection, and now we're actually coming back up on that same intersection, but from the other direction. And from the other direction, it's not a blind intersection. I'll show you what I mean when I get up here. Here's the overpass coming up, but the way they've designed this overpass on this side, there is a turnaround, like a loop around, where people coming off that exit ramp can loop around and go back the other direction. Well, that opens, you can see how open it is. It's much more open. I can see traffic coming on the other side of the freeway. Now with this GoPro, it's pretty wide angle. It may be hard for you to see, but where I am, I can see traffic coming through, and I can see whether or not they're stopping. You'll see what I'm talking about on the GoPro once I get up here. So you can see how they've built that loop around there, and I can see this traffic is stopped at the light, so it's much safer than going the other direction where they didn't build a loop around. Now why they didn't, I have no idea. But anytime you come up to an overpass like that and they don't have that little loop around where they can go back the other direction, it's going to be much more dangerous because you cannot see that traffic coming off of that exit ramp. So anyway, those are my 2 little tips for the day. I hope all of you out there are riding safe. And for those of you in the colder climates where it's already hard winter, here it's winter but not hard winter. Right now it's 52 degrees. That's pretty nice, actually. But for those of you who are going to be storing your motorcycle for the season, please take a look at my motor vlog I did on, and the video I did on how to store your motorcycle for the winter, some of the tips on storing the motorcycle. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to click that little subscribe button down below. So thanks again for joining us today, and I'll see you next time on Cruiseman's Motovlog. If you enjoyed this video, please take a second to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. And if you click the little bell icon, YouTube will notify you when we come out with new videos. Thanks again for joining us on Cruiseman's Garage.